All right. So, guys, long time no see. It's been a while. I think we did not have a live stream for at least 2 weeks. For a good reason. I've been on vacation. The last week I went to Colombia. If you guys did know, Colombia is my favorite country for travel. I went for a specific reason to get to the wedding of my good friend Fernando. He's Colombian, and I did have a really good time. So I came rested and ready to go, and definitely I can see that you guys missed me a little bit too. We have a bunch of people right now, and I do expect more people to join in the following hour. So I think we're going to spend about 30 to 45 minutes together today, depending on how active you will be, because you guys know that I'm doing these streams specifically for you. I don't need them because everything I tell you I know. So I'm trying to bring as much value as possible to you. So make sure you participate and you ask me questions. Today's topic is the future of talent visas and specifically in 2024. And we're going to be discussing this topic. Arjun, hi, nice to see you. Adam, Prasanna, nice to see you. Let me know, guys, where you're from. I may try to guess by your names, but I don't want to make no mistakes. So let me know which country you're from, so I know what's going on in the geography of today's stream. Like I said, please make sure you guys involved in this stream and let me know if you guys like my new background. I did it specifically for you. The background, the blue color that you see is in my office in my home. A few days a week I work from my office in the house that I live in, Davie. That's the northern part of Miami. So let me know if you guys like it. I really love it. I'm gonna put the logo as well in the future, so it looks nice and beautiful. And let's see. Okay, we have India. We have two people from India, and we have Nigeria. And definitely, I do have a lot of clients from India, mostly for O1 visas, some EB1As, rarely EB2 and IW, just because of the visa bulletin issue. And I do have a bunch of clients from Nigeria for EB1A, EB2 and IW. And Adam says it's classic. Yes, it's nice and beautiful. I really like the color, and that's one of the colors of the brand of my company. Adam from Hungary, nice. I also have clients from Hungary on EB1A and EB2 and IW, and I think I have a couple of clients for L1 visa, for a business visa. So guys, let's first fresh approvals. We have 3 approvals this week. All of them EB1A. All of them EB1A, and all of them from Russia. Number 1, the IT specialist from Russia. He got 8 criteria claimed, and what's interesting about his case is that if you guys look at pretty much any website that we have right now in the world, you can see that the top part of the websites, there's this carousel, the switching pictures. So he was the one to invent this concept. Okay, so he was the one to do the open source code for those websites to use that concept. So basically, that was the core of his case, and we built it around it. And of course, we got an approval because he did something big for the industry, a big contribution, and the press wrote about him, and he got a good recommendation letter. So it was kind of easy case, I should admit, because of this invention. But anyway, it doesn't mean that we didn't do the work. The work was still immense. It was a huge case, about 2,000 pages. He got approval really fast with no RFE. The second case, that guy got a lot of adventures. And you guys know, sometimes it's a straight way to your green card. Sometimes you have to go per aspera ad astra. You guys know the Latin saying. And sometimes you have to go through things that you did not expect. So with this guy, he's IT. He's also in IT. We filed his case back in summer. We got just crazy RFE, crazy request for evidence, and it was like I could see that the officer didn't like the case. Okay, so what we did, we withdrew the case and we refiled with a different officer, and we still got an RFE where they accepted his only one criteria, the judging the work of others, I did a really good request for evidence response where I focused on the mistakes that the officer did in RFE, and most of those mistakes were legal. Like he would request, he would say that we did not prove the contribution to the field, and you guys know that it's not to the field, it's in the field. So a little mistake changes the analysis significantly. So I was pretty firm on the legal argument. I found some case law to support my position, and holy behold, we got an approval yesterday. I called the client and say, hey, we got an approval, and he told me, Stanislav, my hands are shaking. We were laughing, it was funny. So you know, those are the moments, guys, I'm working for, you know, to change your life, to change the life of my clients. Actually, we got four approvals. I said 3, we got 4 approvals. The third approval, also EB1A, digital artist, guys. Digital artist. Who's a digital artist? A person who drafts digital pictures. Okay, really good case. There's nothing I can say about it. About 7 or 8 criteria we claimed. We filed it. We got an approval. No surprise. And the freshest approval, the 4th one, just arrived. I just called the client. He's a marketing specialist. And let me tell you guys, the marketing people are not the easiest cases to file, just because for whatever reason the immigration officers have this that preposition, that idea that there are a lot of marketing people in the US and they think they're pretty talented. But again, that is not the criteria to analyze. The number of similar people in the US have no bearing on the case for EB1A for someone outside of the US. So we got it approved, really good case. So we're doing great this week. As of Thursday, we got 4 approvals, all EB1As, all green cards. So congratulations to my clients. So now, let's see what you guys have to say. Majid, how does one secure a contract when applying for an O1 visa? Will you facilitate that, or should we arrange for employment? Should we register a company? Majid, I don't know if you came to a webinar that I had yesterday on the talent visas. And guys, you have to go to my webinars, okay? If you're really serious about coming to the US, you just can't miss them, because I break things down to atoms. I tell you exactly what I need from you. I tell you exactly how to close the criteria. I tell you exactly the cases that I had, the similar cases to the questions that you asked me on webinars. So the amount of information, the value of those webinars for an hour and a half, like you get to the 80th level of understanding those visas. So Majid, I believe you did not go yesterday, which is completely on you. I was actually answering that question in depth. So I'm gonna, of course, I'm going to repeat myself, but I'm not going to go in a lot of depthness for this question. You need to bring me the employer. We do not find you employers, guys. Okay, and why don't we do that? And by the way, sometimes it happens. Okay, sometimes because I also have a closed exclusive business club here in the Miami, the members of which are the clients who got approvals with us. And by the way, this Sunday we're gonna have the barbecue here in Miami, so it's gonna be a large crowd. You could be one of those people. It's very exclusive, so no outsiders. And sometimes my clients who got approval call me like, "Hey Stanislav, I need like a really good IT person." Okay, so if that's the case, then I spread the word. I say it on Instagram or during the stream. Sometimes I call it and say, hey, we have someone who needs this person, like a marketing or a beauty specialist or a model, whatever that is, okay? But that happens only if people ask me. I don't proactively look for employment for my potential clients because I think that might be some kind of conflict of interest in this case. So I don't want to deal with this. So you bring me the employer, and I do you the paperwork. However, do not forget, guys, you do not forget that for O1 visa, you can register your own company, and I can help you with this in any state, okay? And you may claim your newly opened company as your employer. Okay, so Majid, you basically kind of answered your question. If you don't have American employer, a third party who has nothing to do with you, then your other option is to register your own company and use that as your employer. And let me tell you, I've done dozens and dozens and dozens cases where we used this legal scheme. Okay, so as long as you're motivated enough, and you guys know that O1 visa is not the hardest visa to do. Yes, it's a lot of work. Guys, when I say it's not hard, okay, it doesn't mean it's not a lot of work. All visas are a lot of work, okay? It's not hard in the way that it's easier to get approved, all right? And the approval rate for O1 visas with us is about 98%. So basically all the visas that we filed for O1 got approved, and we filed lots of them, maybe close to 100, maybe more. So O1 visa is a really good way to start your trip to your immigration process to the US. And that's actually, O1 visa is on top list for 2024, guys. Okay? For these reasons, because you could employ yourself, and it's relatively easy to satisfy the criteria for O1 visa. So O1 visa is #1 visa to use in 2024, and especially for people from India. Okay, so for you guys, Prasanna, Arjun, yes, you may have a case for EB1A. You may have a case for EB2 NIW, but those cases are going to take years for you to come to the States with a green card. So you guys kind of have to use O1 visa to start your journey to the US. So and that's the way we're going to go about this. We file O1 visa for your company, for whatever company that you might have. We file it, we get it approved. You go to the embassy, you got a visa stamp on your passport. You come to the States, and immediately, we refile your case for EB1A. If it's EB1A, if it's EB2 NIW, then we need to work on it and then file, okay? Yes, it's gonna be a long wait for the green card, but you are waiting in the US, okay? You don't have to go outside, you don't have to leave and then come back. No, you're already working and living in the US. And yes, O1 visa is for 3 years, but it has unlimited extensions by 1 year in the future. Okay, so this is there is no better way. Okay, and if you tell me, hey Stanislav, what about H1B? Well, H1B has a lottery. Okay, has a lottery, and the chances right now to get chosen for H1B lottery is probably around 15%, maybe even less. Okay, if a year ago or 2 years ago I would tell you, okay, it's like 33%, maybe 25%. Now I believe it's 15% or less. Why? Because you guys know why. These big companies, they make like double filings for the same persons, and basically they decrease your chances of getting H1B approved at the level of the lottery. Okay, that's number one reason why it's inferior to O1. And number two is that H1B is only for 6 years. Okay, provided your employer is willing to do this with you. So H1B is definitely not the best way to proceed. It's a good start also, but O1A or O1B are more superior visas to H1B. Okay, so let's see what you guys have to say. Okay, I see Kenner is from Turkey. I have a bunch of clients from Turkey, most of them for E2 visa, because you guys have that right passport for that. Hi, Shilpi. Let's see what Prasanna is talking about. Judging the work of a review conference is one is enough. Okay, so what Prasanna is asking basically two questions. Whether reviewing the work of people at the conference is judging. And yes, absolutely, guys. Judging the work of others is the most flexible criterion in all 10 criteria for EB1A. Okay, why? Because the way it's worded, the wording of the criterion, and by the way, there was a recent change in the way that USCIS is viewing the judging the work of others criterion. Why? Because before that was strictly for the work that you've been doing outside of your company. Okay, now because of the court decisions, USCIS changed its view how they analyze this criterion. And when you analyze, audit, or judge the work of other professionals within the company that you work, we can count it as a judgment, judging the work of others. Okay, so it was already big. Now they expanded even to the, I don't know, that's the easiest criterion, I believe, to satisfy. Okay, that's the easiest one. So reviewing the work of people at the conference, or choosing people to speak at the conference, or choosing which which speech would be published after the conference, that's definitely is going to satisfy the criterion. And doing it only once is good. That's probably enough to satisfy this criterion. But I like to have at least two occurrences when you guys judge the work of others. Okay, maybe 2 years for the same conference. Maybe conference and you did some audit at the company where you work of the professionals. Or maybe you work at the editorial board for some magazine and you choose which article is going to be published. Okay, so I like two. I'll take one, but I like two. Okay. All right, let's move on. Ro, how long is it taking to get advanced parole for DACA? Ro, that's not something I'm qualified to answer because I don't do DACA. I do only talent visas, business visas, and business visas. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know. I cannot answer this. Majid, thank you very much. Is this a separate contract to make a company? Yes, absolutely, Majid. Absolutely, because we have to do work that has nothing to do with the immigration work. Let me tell you guys, to open up a company, just to register, get all the numbers, the address and everything, it's going to cost you, if you hire my corporation, anywhere from $1,500 to $1,800. If you also need the corporate work for this company, like bylaws or operating agreement, or like initial meeting and stocks or units, depending which company, corporation or LLC, it's going to be additional $1,500. Okay, so the full package would be about $3,000 or more. Okay, or you can just bring me the paperwork. Okay, like I don't push my clients to do it with me because I know it's more expensive than let's say if you go to accountant. But you know, if you do it under one roof, I think it's much better. Armstrong, Is it more challenging to apply for NIW as an entrepreneur than seeking employment from an employer? Is O1 more challenging than an NIW? If you only have a Bachelor of Science? Okay, so Armstrong, this question alone may take the whole hour because there's so much. There's so many unknown in your question. It's really hard to compare NIW as an entrepreneur without knowing what's your endeavor. Okay, Armstrong, let me know what is your endeavor. What's your proposed project? Because just knowing that you're an entrepreneur or a businessman, it gives me nothing. Because for NIW, I need your advanced degree or exceptional ability, your experience in the past that can be translated to your proposed endeavor or project in the future. Okay? Only knowing all those things, I can analyze in depth whether you have a good NIW case. And please make sure that you fill out the free evaluation form for NIW. And you can see the last comment that I dropped. There's a link to EB2 NIW, so fill it out. Fill it out so I could take a look, and within 48 hours I'll get back to you and tell you, hey, you have a chance or you don't have a chance. And even the second part of your question, comparing to seeking employment from employer, which visa? Is it EB1 visa? Is it EB2? Is it EB3? Is it EB4? Maybe you're a religious worker, okay? Maybe it's EB5. So I don't know. It's hard to compare without the details. But definitely, I'm a firm believer that EB1A and EB2 NIW cases they are the only exceptions where you don't have to have an employer. And I think this is a huge advantage. Okay, this is a huge advantage because you do not depend on no one. Okay, EB1A and EB2 NIW are the only two visas where the only person in the world you depend on is you. Okay, how much of the strategy you're going to implement of my strategy, how motivated you are, how much time you're willing to put in working on your visa, that's all on you. Okay, so I have not seen a single client whom I approved, whom I say, okay, you qualify for this visa, here's the strategy, and who put work in the strategy. I haven't seen a single denial. Okay, and yes, you guys sometimes ask me, Stanislav, you have 90% approval rate for your petitions. What are the other 10%? Why they get denied? What's the reason for the denial? And I always tell you guys that that's the subjectivity of perception. Okay, all these visas are subjective element of analysis. So one officer sees it this way, the other officer sees it that way. So and I have a firm proof that it's all subjective. Why? Because out of the 35 cases, only this year, 2023, that we withdrew and resubmitted, same cases, nothing changed. Okay, and just the recent case I told you about, guys, EB1A for IT person from Russia. We submitted his case. We got a huge and he actually was an exception to this rule. He got approved, but through the RFE. The overwhelming majority cases that got RFE at the first filing, we withdrew and refiled, got approved with no RFE. Okay, so that's the firm proof that all these visas are so subjective. So that's why. But with this being said, a tiny fraction of this 10%, maybe 2-3% of all these denials, I do believe that the clients could have done a better work. Okay, and sometimes I hear from the clients, okay, Stanislav, I'm so tired. I have no strength, I have no energy, I don't want to do this anymore. And that usually happens like really close to the filing, okay? And I understand it's a lot of work, it's stressful, it's a lot of time, and the time you take off from your family, from your work, from whatever that is you're doing. But guys, this is your future. This is the future of your family. This is the future of your work, the time you're taking off right now. Put as much effort as you can, because you will be the one remembered by all generations ahead. Okay? Your kids, your grandkids, your great-grandkids gonna remember you because you did the move. Okay? You changed their lives for the better forever. Okay? Is it worth it? Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay? I'm that person myself. Okay? My kids gonna talk about me today, kids, and hey, we had this guy, Stanislav, who did the move. Okay? So you could be that person, and I think it's totally worth it. So make sure 2024, guys, is the year to go. 2024 is the year to go. Be it O1 visa, be it EB1A visa, be it EB2 NIW, be it classic EB2, EB3 through the PERM certification, you have to be the one to make the move. And you're the one to take the credit, okay? Because you're not gonna tell your kids or grandkids, hey, there was the guy Stanislav who did it for me. No, you're not gonna say this. You're gonna say, I did this, okay? And I don't blame you. I don't blame you, okay? Because I'm happy to help you to do this move. So keep this in mind. All right, so going back to Armstrong. O1 is definitely easier than NIW, but it's all in the details, okay? The devil is in the details. You guys heard this expression, okay? So I need to know exactly what's happening with your talent visa and with your NIW visa. So make sure you fill out both free evaluations. Dexton says, looking great, Shamaev. I know. You know why, guys? Because I changed the background, okay? And you guys love the background because that's the color of my company. Let me show you. So you guys know that's the logo of the company, right? So and you see that this like coral color for the main logo, and that's the color of the like the second color. If I put it against the wall, that's the same color, right? So that's why I'm looking great, guys. And trust me, guys, I've done this specifically for you, okay? For you, my English YouTubers. Because when I do my Russian stream on Friday, I do it from my office in Aventura. And you guys know my office. It's a beautiful view of Miami with the blue skies and the beautiful windows. So there is no need for the background. But here, like, I did it specifically for you. So keep coming to my streams because I'm working for the result and you guys know it. Okay, let's go down. Let's go back to the questions. Shilpi. Hi, it's almost a week since I submitted my profile on my website. Still waiting for the initial evaluation. When can I expect a response? That's really weird, Shilpi, that you didn't get the response. If you can, let me send this to the director. I apologize for that. That's not the way we work. If the name is the same in the form, you will get the answer today. Okay. Okay. Let's move on. Majid, does it mean that it's also another contract for NIW? I need to have a clear understanding about the number of contracts. Majid, any separate visa, any separate move that you want to do is definitely a separate contract. So you may have a contract right now. It's, let's say, on E2, and you're considering NIW, you're considering O1. Definitely each separate visa is going to have a separate contract. Why? Because each visa is going to have a separate team leading your case. And everything's separate, right? They don't interconnect. They separate work. So depending on what are your wishes, depending on your wishes, you need a number of contracts. But I do not recommend, guys, to do 2 visas at the same time. Not that we cannot do this, because you're going to have separate teams and the separate people leading your cases, and I can deal with this, but you're going to be overwhelmed, okay? You're going to be overwhelmed. So make sure you get first one visa, let's say it's O1, you come to the States, and then depending on your situation, because if you sometimes the strategy of you guys getting your green card is O1 just to get to the US fast. What is fast is about 8 months from the time you started working on your case. But if I qualified you for EB1A for the green card, we build your case as if we were filing for EB1, but we file for O1 to get fast approval and fast coming to the US, and then we refile the same case. And if it's the case, the second case is going to be with 50% discount. Okay, but if it's O1, but then EB2 and IW, those we cannot connect because those are completely different cases. So there's going to be 2 separate contracts. Kenner. As the owner of 3 companies with over 35 employees in TR and the UK, if I came to the US with L1 visa, is there a minimum requirement for employing US citizens before applying for a green card? Yes, Canon. Absolutely, absolutely. And watch my videos on the EB1C visa. I talk about it in depth, but my formula is easy. My formula is at least 8 employees under your control in your US company with a 3-step control system. Okay, so it's you, managers, and the subordinates. Okay, so I always talk about the triangle, right, where you're at the top of the triangle. In the middle of the triangle, the management. So 2-3 managers in this case, and 5 to 6 subordinates to the managers. Okay, so you control the managers control the subordinates. The more the better. The more the better. And you still have to keep your companies running in UK and the TR. So yes, 8 employees. Majid, 2 company registration, and yes, Majid, in your case, if you want to do O1 to come to the States fast, if you want to have your company as your employer, and IW to get the green card, those are 3 contracts. Yeah, so it's going to be that way. You're right. Maybe I can give you a little discount on the 3rd contract, but again, it's going to be symbolic just because it doesn't reduce the amount of work that we need to do. Okay, like 3 contracts doesn't mean that we do less work. It's actually we do more work. Okay, so it's going to be almost the same. Adam, how much money should be invested in a new company in the US to be able to register it as a possible employer for O1 visa? Adam, the beauty of your company being your employer for O1 is that you do not have to capitalize it. Okay? Moreover, it might not even have the bank account. We just have a bunch of fresh approvals for O1 where we just had the company and the EIN number and no bank account whatsoever. And we got an approval, no problem. Okay? And we've done it so many times in the past. So you do not have to put the money into your company at the level of filing of O1 visa. So that's the beauty of it. Vivek, I have got some software patents. Does that qualify as major contributions? Could be, Vivek. Could be. First of all, let me comment your question. In order to qualify as major contribution in the field, we need 2 things: the originality of the whatever the contribution. With the patent, it's not a problem because the patent cannot be registered without the innovation, without something new. So that's taken care. That's being taken care of. And second, it has to be significant. What's significance for the purpose of contribution in the field? That's the use. So that must be used in the industry. That's also, there's a lot of details in that because there is a famous case, the precedent where the Belgian scientist had the patent that he just registered. And it hasn't been used yet, but it's already been registered and proven as a patent, as a unique invention. And he only had an expert opinion from expert in the field, from another scientist, who in detail explained why this patent, while not being used, but the fact that it's been registered, is already significant to the industry, in the industry, okay? And it was like in-depth letter. And USCIS said, hey, well, it's not being used, so who cares? Go first, develop it, and bring it back. And he went to the court, and the court said, hey, it's not the fact that it's being used more important, but the fact what's the importance of that patent. Okay, so example is the Curies family. I think that's, I pronounced it right. Those guys who invented the nuclear, the atom, the nuclear, the fusion or whatever. So let's say they invented it yesterday. Okay, they found how the atom like breaks down whatever nuclear reaction, and we go to USCIS and say, hey, these guys made a huge invention. Okay, and here says, hey, well, it's not being used. Well, are you crazy? Well, it's not being used, but the manifestation of this invention is big for the humanity, right? So same with the patent. I want to see the use of it, that it's being used in the industry, but if it's not being used yet, but there's a huge potential for the use, that could be a contribution in the field also. Okay, so. That's number one. And number two, my number two comment on this question is that the patent is a really good thing to use an EB2 and a W. Okay, so I would definitely, Vivek, I would definitely fill out both the talent visa free evaluation and the EB2 and a W, because I have a bunch of fresh and older approvals for EB2 and a W for software engineers who did some software patents. Okay, so those are really good cases. Make sure you do this, because we don't want to miss on the opportunity to see that you may have an EB2 and a W case as well. Prasanna, I said conference IEEE. Prasanna, whatever that is. If it's on a level IEEE, and if you review the work of whatever of other professionals, that's good enough. Or if I still didn't get your question, please rephrase it. Put it like as if put more details. Maybe I don't understand. Ravit, do you help building the profile for EB1A? Ravit, absolutely, absolutely. When you go to the complex immigration planning, you get the initial strategy, and the initial strategy is in writing. So it's a huge document. It's never less than 10 pages, never. Okay, sometimes it's up to 50 pages, depending on the depth of your case. So in that strategy, and I see that some of you guys are already my current clients. So comment on this also. You've seen your strategies, right? The initial strategies. So they very in depth. I basically tell you which criteria are already satisfied in whatever visa that is. And I also tell you which are not. And I tell you exactly what needs to be done to satisfy that. Okay. Moreover, when we start working on your case, I give you the contacts of our vendors, PR agencies, business plan people, market analysis people, who help you to satisfy the majority of the criteria. Okay, the press, the publications, the books, become a judge for the competitions if you have a good profile. We even work with people who do the hackathons to help you to participate or become a judge. Okay, so our network is huge and it's international. So absolutely we help to build your profile, Ravid. Not only that, that's basically all we do for you. And of course, I tell you how, but you need to act on it. Okay, it's not that I go and judge the competition for you, all right, or draft the publication. No, you do it yourself, but I'll tell you exactly how to do this. Okay. If we haven't judged any competitions, okay, I already addressed that. Do you provide help in any way, resource contacts to satisfy some of the... Absolutely, Ravi. I got your question from the very beginning. Most of your criteria is being satisfied while you're working on a case with me and my team. Okay, and the people who help you, the contacts and everything. Moreover, most of the clients who come to me with a strong foundation for EB1, let's say, like they have a good critical role, maybe some good contribution, like maybe 1, 2, sometimes 3 criteria, not more than that. The rest, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 criteria are being built while working on the petition. Okay, that's a very important concept to understand, because some of you like, oh, okay, I answered the question for free evaluation. You, Stanislav, came back to me and said, yeah, you have a potential, but we need to work on this, and I don't know how to do this. Well, that's the point, that when we start on your case, we get you to do those criteria. Okay, and that's something that I don't think anybody else doing. Okay, I don't think any other attorney, maybe they do in like smaller scale, but we do it massively, like across the globe. Okay, very good. Review IEEE conference, Prasanna, yes, reviewing IEEE conference is very good. By the way, guys, and Prasanna, maybe it's good for you and for other IT people. IEEE is not in itself, does not satisfy the association criterion, okay? But the senior or fellowship level of IEEE does. Okay, so Prasanna, if you in that organization and you're on a senior level or fellow, and there's like at the top level, I forgot how it's called, and also you're reviewing the conferences, like you're picking and choosing the professionals who's going to do what, you and like you doing this on a regular basis, you may satisfy 3 criteria: association, judging the work of others, and critical role. Because you play a critical role for this organization. How beautiful that is. I think that's just magnificent. Prasanna, and teaching assistant in university can be part of judging. Part of judging, maybe, but more likely the critical role for the university. I really like that. The expel question: if we are approved for EB2 and IW, can we continue to travel on B1, B2? Yes, absolutely. For vacation, because right now there is a 1-year backlog on I-45 change of status. Absolutely, the expel. You can travel. Of course, it's a little bit risky, but if you have a good history with the US Customs, if you came and you never overstayed, you always stayed for a small amount of time, you have no problem with the law, I don't see any reason. Moreover, let me tell you, I have the family in Russia, and I have a sister. I filed for her I-130 probably about 10 years ago. She's going to get approved like maybe in 5-6 years. And that means that she already showed her immigration intent, right? Because I-130 pending as a family reunion. But for these years, while she's been pending, we got her 3 tourist visa approved, with 1 being approved yesterday. Congratulations to me. I'm going to see my family soon. So yeah, no problem. And a bunch of clients that I have, even with the pending approvals, with approved, applied for the tourist visa, got them approved. So no problem. You can travel. And by the way, the expel. You will be able to file for 85 with a date of filing, not the final action date, okay? Because that's the way it goes right now. I believe that's going to be in the future, so it's going to be not a year, but less, maybe about 10 months. Majid, you're welcome. Vivek, for O1, what's the criteria for company registration? The name and the state. Basically, that's it, Vivek. That's all I need. The name and the state where you want to register your company. For EB5, is there any guaranteed return investment? Absolutely not, Vivek. Absolutely not. It's in the law. It's actually in the law that you have to risk your investment. So your investment has to be at risk. Okay, so if you have a guarantee on return on your investment, and I believe you're asking about the passive investment when you go to the regional center, so that's actually in the contract that it's a risky investment and you can lose the whole or a part of it. Okay, will you lose it? I doubt it, because if you work with the good regional centers that have a great reputation, and we worked with them for a number of years, the chances of you losing your money is next to nothing. Okay, next to nothing. I think that actually opening up your own business and filing for EB5 is much more risky than going with a passive investment. Kenner, you're welcome. Adam, okay, Adam, let me see what you're referring to. As you said, for a fresh company, the owner can get an O1 visa without any capitalization. Yes, absolutely. Will anybody later investigate if the company has been capitalized after getting the O1 visa? Well, I don't think so. I don't think so. Unless you want to extend your O1 visa, and then we kind of have to show that you didn't violate your status and you were getting paid within the organization. But again, capitalization of the company has nothing to do with you being paid within the company, because you can start getting business with your O1A company once you came to the States and pay yourself not from the capitalization of the company, but from the fresh business that you're getting. Okay, so let's say you have an IT company and you came here to the States on O1 visa and you started looking for clients, you found a bunch of projects, they hired your company, they started paying you, your company, and your company started paying you. Okay, beautiful. There's nothing wrong with this. That's actually the way it should work, I think. Of course, if you need, if you have like a business plan, if you need employers and you need to start like have some capital to operate the company, then you have to capitalize it. But it's more business need than the immigration need. Okay, so that's the way. Absolutely, Adam. That's the beauty of O1 visa. That's why O1 visa, guys, is the top for 2024. Okay. The second spot is EB2 NIW, okay, especially for STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Okay, that's the second spot. Why? Because it's easier to get than EB1A. It's less evidentiary burdened. Okay, so it's less evidence that we need to collect. But the negative side of EB2 NIW is the visibility. Right? We need to wait a little longer time. But because it's easier than EB1A, I put it on the second spot and EB1A on the third one. Okay? And EB1A, I do believe, is going to continue to be one of the best visas to have, let me put it in the right words, a better chance. A better chance of approval. Why? Because it's less subjective than EB2 NIW. EB2 NIW is subjectivity upon subjectivity upon subjectivity. Everything is subjective there. Your relevant experience, even your education sometimes is subjective analysis, because it might not be directly connected to your project. So we have to analyze the classes that you took, and analyzing the classes is subjective in itself. Okay, so everything, well-positioned, your advanced degree, the national interest, the substantial merit, everything is subjective. So there's a lot of things going on. So basically, a good presentation is that what makes it or breaks it. Okay, and you guys know, in the presentation, I don't know who does better petitions than we do. I've seen so many attorneys work, so many, like dozens and dozens. No one has the aesthetic touch to their petitions. They like brutal, like bah, just the text, bam, paragraph after paragraph after paragraph. And those are good petitions. Don't get me wrong, guys. Don't get me wrong. A lot of attorneys have doing great job. A lot. Okay, I don't think anybody is better than us, but that's that's the subjective. But the way it looks is just terrible. Okay, nobody cares how it looks. We do a lot of work the way our petitions look. When you look at your petition when you file, you're gonna cry. Okay, And you're gonna cry not because it's a great work, although it is. You're gonna cry because it's so beautiful, like the pictures. We have a designer who's actually making it flow nicely. The paragraphs are small, really easy to read, okay? I make sure that's easy to read, because if you don't make it easy to read for the immigration officer, he's gonna be mad. Okay, so I put myself in a officer's shoes and read my memorandum, which is like 150 pages, like 150 pages. Like you're gonna die. Okay, it's just a lot of text. We make it look nice. We use expensive paper, you know, not the cheapest paper you can buy. We use a nice thick paper that's nice to touch. So we affect the subconscious of the officer through that. And all our petitions are branded, okay? They're branded like this. So the officers know the quality of our work. EB1A is it's also subjective, but it's only subjective on the second stage of analysis, the overall merits. Okay, when you look at the whole petition, if we achieved the recognition of the country, okay, but that's it. EB2 and AW is all subjective. Okay, let's see what's going on. Guys, great stream today. I don't know if you missed me so much. 2 weeks no stream. Maybe I should do streams every third week, so you guys actually come and participate in the stream, because you're very active today and I love it. Okay, Vivek, does citations convey usefulness? Not for the purpose of the publications, the academic or scientific publications. The fact that you have them is good enough. We can satisfy the criteria, but citations may play a role if we use your publication in contribution in the field. Okay, why? Because whatever you wrote in that article and that publication, if it's being cited, that means it's being used. Okay, and you remember that contribution in the field is original and significant. Original, it's new. All publications peer-reviewed, they're new, they're original. And if it's being cited, it's being used, right? So it's being of the use to the industry. So the question, Stanislav, how many citations should I get in order to prove that my article is a contribution in the field? Well, very subjective question, because it could be anywhere from 30 to 100. Okay, so starting with the 30 citations, we can already make an argument that it's a contribution in the field. However, I've seen the case law where 100 citations were not enough. Okay, and I've seen the cases where 30 citations were enough. So it all depends on what's going on with the case. All right, there's a lot of other factors, like did the press cover this? Okay, did the expert opinion letters cover this? And you guys know, when you work with my company, you can get up to 4 independent expert opinion letters where you exchange them with the current clients. Okay, and again, nobody's doing this. No other attorney ever done this, and nobody's going to do it in the future, because it takes up a lot of resources. We have the processes for that. Okay, and a cost of one letter like this, expert opinion letter on whatever your contribution, your case, outside of for the vendors, and there are vendors who are doing this for these petitions, they cost 1,500. Okay, and within my company, I cannot say it's free, because it's a part of the offering or the project, but the value of that is just through the roof. Okay, so you guys should keep that in mind as well. Okay, Vivek, between ENTW for Indians, I don't know if it's connected to the citation thing, but yeah, between ENTW for Indians is not the best way to proceed, and you guys know it. Adam, as you said, for fresh company, the owner can get an O1 visa without any capitalization. Yes. Will anybody? Oh, okay. I think I already answered that question. Yes. I'm sorry. All right, guys. Let's take a few more questions, because we're already 53 minutes in, and I said we're gonna spend 30 to 45 minutes together. So let's make it an hour. Okay. Guys, smash that like button. Okay, I see only 3 likes. So, and we're like 20 people together. So please smash that like button to show me the appreciation of my work. That would be great. Bossman, NIW question. I have recently had an MS in energy, so master's, I believe, in energy trade, but no work experience in this field. Rather than my work experience is in logistics management, what are my chances? Bossman, depending on your proposed endeavor. Okay, because I cannot assess your NIW case just based on your experience or lack of experience and your education. Okay, that's not how it works. I need to know that, and I need to know what you propose to do. Okay, because it's all interconnected. NIW comparing to EB1A is completely different. Why? Because EB1A, we have 10 criteria and we need to at least satisfy 3. Okay, yes, we usually file 6, 7, but we need to satisfy 3. NIW, we need to satisfy all criteria for this visa. Okay, so we cannot pick and choose. Okay, let's choose advanced degree, well positioned, and substantial merit. No, everything. So that's why I need all the information to assess your case. So make sure you fill out the EB2NIW free evaluation form. It's in the chat. I dropped you the link, so I could take a look in depth and see what's going on. Kenner. Considering that everything appears to be in order, do you recommend applying for an O1 visa first and then pursuing the EB1 green card? No, that's not what I recommend, Kenner. I recommend that only in 2 cases. Number 1, I did not qualify you for EB1A, but I qualified you for O1. That's the option number 1. Option number 2, case number 2, if you want to come to the US fast, or faster, I'd rather say, okay? Because if you have case for EB1A, and I told you, hey, we can get you a green card, but it's gonna take you a year and a half until from the moment we start the case till the moment you enter the US with the green card, okay? And you may tell me, Stanislav, I wanted, the time is of the essence, let's do it faster. So we basically get your case for EB1A, but we file it for O1, you get it approved, you come in and we refile for EB1A. Okay, that way you get your green card much faster. Adam, in case of O1 visa, what kind of visa will be given for the family members? Are they allowed to work with that, for example? Good question, Adam. Your family members will get O3 visa. Your kids will be able to go to school for free, but, and that I believe the most negative factor of O1 visa, that your spouse cannot work, okay? She or he can go study, they can stay unlimited time with you, but they cannot work, okay? So that's the biggest negative factor of O1, but that's the reality. Same with H1B, by the way, guys. H1B gets your spouse H4, and they cannot work. So that's what it is. L1, E2, that's it. Only L1 and E2 visa gives the right to work to the spouse. All right, but those are business visas. Parameshwar. I'm on H1. From last 10 years, total 15 years in US on H1, total 25 years of IT. Is there any possibility for EB1A? I'm not a manager. You have any advice on this? I have no idea, Parameshwar, because H1 does not indicate any talent. Okay, it just indicates you have an education and an employer. So what I need you to do is to fill out the free evaluation form for O1 EB1A visa, so I could take a look and then I'll be able to tell you. Okay, guys, two more questions from Dexpel and Adeyemi. By the way, guys, Adeyemi was yesterday at the webinar. So he was at the webinar, and he's also here for the stream. That's what I say. That's what I call the motivation, guys. That's when I know that's when we start working on the case, or when we continue working on the case, we have a better chance of approval, because that person really cares and really wants to know what's going on. Dexpel, if I get an O1, if my wife gets O3, yes, correct. Can she start working at the hospital? No, unfortunately, no. But if she switches to F1 visa and she has her degree in the US, she can get an OPT. If employer offers, yes, H1B, yes. If employer offers H1B and provided she wins the lottery, then yes. While I start working on an EB2 and a W, yes, later we'll get a green card. Yes, so that's the way. You're on O1 visa, she's on O3. If the employer offers her the position, the file for H1B in March. Don't miss the March deadline because there's only one small window, March 1st, March 18, 20, depending on the year. And provided she won, then we can file her for a change of status and then wait for the green card on the EB2 and a W. For EB2 and a W, what kind of visa will be given to the family, wife, kids? At the end, and everybody else, guys, any visa that has EB, employment based, all those visas means that you and your family get the green card. Okay, the residency means the green card. So everybody gets the residency in US, and everybody else in 5 years will get the blue passport. You guys want me to show you? Let me guys show you something. You guys know the surprises, right? You guys love the surprises. So that's the passport I'm talking about, right? So that's let me cover the numbers so you guys see that's me, right? So what's the way to get the passport, that blue, and you guys know it smells so good, guys, and that's what we're looking at, right? That's what all of you guys want to be having in your mind, okay? Just that picture with you holding this passport, the American passport, because you know the opportunities for this little thingy. So EB category gets you the green card, 5 years, and for your family. 5 years from that moment, you can apply for this beautiful blue passport, okay? And also you and your entire family. And that's the end of your trip with all this immigration thing. Okay, guys, I see 2 more questions, but that's it. We already passed that. I will ask the moderator to copy the questions. And I hope you guys follow me on Instagram because I will answer those questions on Instagram in the stories. So make sure that you follow me on Insta. And moderator, please drop the link to my English Instagram so those who don't follow me can start following me to get the answers to those questions. And please pass on those questions to me so I could answer them. All right, guys, it was a nice stream. Thank you for participation. I'll see you next Thursday, same place, same time. My name is Stanislav Shamayev, the lawyer of the future. Your future begins here. Good luck.